Welcome, and thank you for tuning in for the Partnership Lake Houston's Summer Creek BizCom. I'm Sam Schrade, owner of DNA Studios and a member of the Summer Creek BizCom committee. As you can tell, I'll be filling in today for our illustrious chairman, Dwayne. He's not in today. He is a little bit on spring break. So I have a feeling, though, that they might be tuning in wherever in the world they are. So hello, Dwayne. I'll try to fill in and do as good a job as you do each week. But we are grateful you have chosen to spend an hour with us today, and we look forward to sharing updates from many of our community members. For our Zoom guests, you're going to notice that you're probably muted, and all our guests are going to remain muted throughout the program. But this is an interactive meeting, so if you have questions or need assistance, please use the Q&A function located at the bottom of your screen. Or if you're just joining us on Facebook Live, you can actually submit a question in the comments section, and our incredibly awesome chamber staff is going to submit it to our Zoom platform so that we can answer the questions. So send away. We'd love to have your questions. All right. We have a lot of knowledgeable panelists to cover a multitude of topics today. Unfortunately, Dr. Roddy with Holy Trinity Episcopal Church had a family emergency and will not be with us today, but we look forward to having him back in the future. So without further ado, here's a look at our panelists today. We will be hearing from Terry Vaughn, our District Manager of Pharmacy and Retail Operations at Walgreens, also a chair of the Partnership Lake Houston. He's going to talk about vaccine distribution. Ian Adler with Director Marketing of McCord Development. He's going to talk about Generation Park, including Service Wire's new regional headquarters, Courtyard Marriott's opening, and GenerationWorx leasing at Redemption Square. Also, Justin Turner, founder of Bernie's Burger Barn and award-winning chef of Bocca Italian at Generation Park. He's going to give us information on the new restaurant that they have over there. Jeremy Devine, VP Marketing and Content with ShowBiz Cinema. Information on how theaters have been affected by COVID pandemic and the future of theaters. Last but not least, we'll hear from Corey Turner and an update on the Run Walk Discover Lake Houston, formerly the Lake Houston 5K 10K. So as always, we depend on our business sponsors to make programs like BizCom available for our members and our greater Lake Houston area community. Our Summer Creek BizCom sponsors include, drumroll, I didn't hear drumroll, but anyway, Chick-Fil-a, Wilson Road and Beltway 8. Also, our HEB Summer Creek, JLA Realty, Amanda Petrie, McCord Development, Generation Park, MD Anderson Cancer Center, and K&S Sportswear. Those are our gold sponsors. Our silver sponsors include Shell, Federal Credit Union, PostNet, Summerwood. So if your business is interested in being a sponsor, please contact the Partnership Lake Houston staff. Your sponsorship funds support the efforts of Partnership Lake Houston, which enables us to help businesses recover and succeed. Now, more than ever, small businesses need to help the resources and the guidance that the partnership provides. If your business has not been negatively impacted by the pandemic, please consider sponsoring a program or sponsor a membership for a small business. All right. Once again, we're glad that you're here today, and we're going to just jump right in it. So our next speaker is District Manager of Pharmacy and Retail Operations and recently bear hunter at the Walgreens, and he's also been chair of our Partnership Lake Houston for 18 years now, it seems like. Terry is here today, seriously, to speak to us about the distribution of vaccines from the pharmacy level. Put your hands together, Terry Vaughn.
Thanks, Sam. I appreciate it. So I was talking to Dwayne and to Jenna about vaccines and vaccine distribution. And one of the things that came up is that, they talked to me about I could put things in a little bit more layman's terms than what they could find on the internet or even what some of the doctor friends or things talked about. So I just want to talk to you guys a little bit today about COVID vaccines. And I've been living this for about 90 days now. It's been part of my everything that I do. And while I am not a physician, I do know a lot about COVID vaccines. Our company was contracted to do long-term care facilities throughout the United States. And my team has been diligently immunizing seniors at our long-term care facilities here in the Lake Houston area. We completed that work at the end of February, giving seniors that wanted the vaccine in all of the long-term care facilities here in the Lake Houston area, both doses of the Pfizer vaccine. So now we're working on immunizing the public. And I just want to share a little bit about the 3 different types of vaccines that are available to Walgreens and at other retailers, including CVS, HEB, and some of the other places out there. I think Walmart has them as well. So there are 3 types of vaccines. The first is Pfizer. Pfizer is a little bit difficult to work with from a logistics standpoint. Pfizer has to be kept on dry ice at a negative 80 degrees. We can remove that product from the dry ice, but we can only open the dry ice box 2 times in a 24-hour period. So logistically, Pfizer is kind of difficult. Once we thaw that Pfizer vaccine out, that vaccine is good for 5 days. So we take it out of the dry ice, we transport it in freezers to the location it's going to be giving it, and it's good for 5 days. Now, in each vial of Pfizer vaccine is enough vaccine to give 6 doses. They initially had intended that to be 5 doses, but we found not only at Walgreens, but immunizers all across the country found that there was enough in each vial to give 6 doses. And so they actually changed the protocol that each vial is actually 6 doses. Now, once we puncture that vial with the needle and take the first dose out, it has to be used, that entire vial has to be used within 5 hours. So, here we've already got, it's got to be stored at negative 80 degrees. It can only be opened twice a day. It can only be stored for 5 days once we remove it from the dry ice. Now, once we puncture that vial, it is only good for 5 hours. So, Walgreens and other drugstores are set up really good to handle this sort of thing because we've dealt with other vaccines in the past. Zostavax, the shingles shot that's out there that we've handled for several years. The precursor to that was handled in the freezer. So the first shingles vaccine, we're used to that sort of thing. The other thing that makes Pfizer a little more difficult for us to work with is it has to be reconstituted. So we have to inject that vial with normal saline that actually, or it's a diluent is what it is. And it dilutes that vaccine in there and makes it able to go into someone's arm. So that's the first type, and that's Pfizer. Second type of vaccine that we're giving out and we're getting access to quite a bit more lately is Moderna. Now, Moderna can be stored in the regular freezer. So, but also like Pfizer, there are some restrictions on how many hours it can be before we use it and how long it can stay in just the fridge. So once we pull that out of the fridge, we have a timeline to use that as well. And much like the Pfizer, once we puncture that vial, we have to use that vaccine within 5 hours. So that's the second type of vaccine. Both Pfizer and Moderna are a new technology for vaccines called mRNA. And, that's different than vaccines that we've seen before, like your annual flu shot, because the technology behind it is different. And I'm not going to go into all the jargon that makes that different, but I do want you to know that they've been studying mRNA vaccines for 5 years. So, there's a lot of trepidation out there and people are concerned about this came to market so fast. I want to reassure people that the technology behind these vaccines has been in testing, production, and research for 5 years. So this is a really good thing in that they just adapted it to fit this particular vaccine. The third type and the most recent vaccine that we've been getting a hold of is our Johnson & Johnson or Janssen vaccine. And Johnson & Johnson is a lot easier to work with, to be honest. It can be stored in the refrigerator, keeps for a lot longer. It is more similar to your annual flu vaccine than either of the other two. Now, it does have its downsides, but it has its upside too. The Johnson & Johnson only requires one dose. Both the Pfizer and the Moderna, they require a first dose, and then several weeks later, they require a booster shot. For Pfizer, that's 3 weeks later. For Moderna, that's 4 weeks later. But Johnson & Johnson is one and done, much like your annual flu shot. Now, the Moderna and the Pfizer vaccines both offer 90+% protection against the virus. So those numbers somewhere around 95%. The Johnson & Johnson is a much lower protection, but it has a convenience factor of only one vaccine. And so many people are opting to go and get that particular one. I'll be honest with you. Whatever vaccine you get offered, you should take. Okay, this is my official public service announcement to you. Don't be picky. You should get the first vaccine that you are eligible for, and as fast as you can do that. So I want to talk a little bit more about the vaccines and kind of where we go from here. We've given at Walgreens, just in the Lake Houston area, 4,000 or 5,000 vaccines. Okay, and we've protected all the residents of the long-term care facilities, the staff of those facilities. We've protected many of our own team and staff, and we've begun to protect the members of our community. So there are several phases that the CDC has set up that determines when you're eligible to receive a vaccine. So in the beginning, it was doctors, nurses, healthcare providers, basically my team that was giving out the immunizations, as well as the long-term care facility residents. That was the first phase. Police officers and firefighters were close behind that. We've since moved into seniors, 65 and up. We've been immunizing them for quite a long time. On March 15th, earlier this week, the CDC has lowered our guidelines and our guidance. Now we are eligible to give vaccines to all residents that are 50 and up, and any patients that have severe medical problems. So these things are things that are complicated by COVID-19. So heart disease, asthma, cancer, these types of things. And what you would need to do I can only speak for Walgreens, but it should be very similar to any other retailers that are offering the vaccine, is you have to fill out an attestation for the state of Texas stating which medical condition that you have. And at that time, they would determine your eligibility for the vaccine. So that's good news as we're moving forward with immunizing even more of our population. I did read a report online this week that said that 30 million Americans have received all of their vaccines. So either both doses of Pfizer and Moderna, or their one dose of Johnson & Johnson. And an additional 60 million Americans have received their first dose of Moderna or Pfizer. So this is really good news. That's 90 million Americans that have some level of protection against the virus. And we are, continuing to work toward that herd immunity that we've been talking about for about a year. And just want to share that's good news. We have seen some of that in our own employee population. I have about 65% of my employees have taken the vaccine, and the amount of COVID cases is going down. So that's good news. What you can do. So if you're interested in seeing if your nearby local Walgreens has vaccine, go to walgreens.com/COVID vaccines, or download the Walgreens app and look at Find Care Now. Once you go there, it will show local Walgreens that have the vaccine. There's an online scheduler, and you can get signed up to get vaccine. We're continuing to provide vaccines as soon as the state, the federal government, or the county provide those vaccines to us. And one other thing that I will continue to say is please continue to wear your masks. Please continue washing your hands. And please continue to social distance as much as possible. So that's what I have today. I think we have a question.
Someone saw that Johnson & Johnson is less effective.
So yes, so the question is, someone saw that Johnson & Johnson is less effective. So in tests, both the Moderna and Pfizer have been 90+% effective against the vaccine. In tests, the Johnson & Johnson vaccine has shown about a 65% effectiveness. But I want to reiterate, 65% effectiveness is much better than 0% effectiveness. And the benefit to the Johnson & Johnson is you get one shot and you're done. It's a convenient factor, and it is the same technology that we've used behind flu shots for so many years. All right, guys. Well, hey, thanks so much. I really enjoy this. I could have talked about this for hours because it has become part of my life for so long. But thank you. And once again, I'm Terry Vaughn from Walgreens, and hopefully we'll immunize you soon. All right, next is going to be Ian Adler. So, Ian, you're up.
All right, hey everyone. Thanks for having me. I'm Ian with Generation Park and McCord Development. I'll give a brief overview of what's going on here. Hopefully, I share the screen properly. Let's see, screen one. Yeah, cool. All right, so hopefully you guys can see this presentation. So we'll start with what's new at Generation Park. This is Service Wire's brand new regional headquarters manufacturing and distribution facility at Generation Park, obviously. They'll be opening up later this year. This photo was taken yesterday, so you can see they've made quite a lot of progress since starting construction late last year. And I'll show you where on the map that is. So if you're familiar with Redemption Square, our restaurants, the apartments and all that, that's over here. We just built all this new Westlake Houston Parkway extension west of Lockwood Road, and then Service Wire is located right here. So that photo was taken pretty much where this trailhead is, and then they're just above IKEA, and then just west of San Jacinto College. And if you haven't seen this before, we're building a massive trail network right now. This is about 3.5 miles of new trails that are currently under construction that we hope to open up later this year. And then another exciting thing that we're working on is GenerationWorx. So for the past, 3 to 4 years, we've been getting a lot of inquiries for offices for small users that are like teams between like 1 and 10 people. We just never had an option available for them. So I'm happy to announce today that we are officially pre-leasing GenerationWorx. I'll show you guys the floor plan in a minute, but it's on the 3rd floor of our office building. So obviously you'll have a lot of great views of the plaza and what's happening. You'll have the great restaurants downstairs and the soon to come across the street. And then here's the current floor plan that we're pre-leasing. So you'll come up to the 3rd floor off the elevators here. You'll be greeted by a smiling face, and then walked around and shown the various suites. Same thing for your guests. You'll be alerted when they arrive. But when you walk in, you'll have this great kitchen and gathering area. That's kind of the hospitality zone, and that really the hub of the concept. And then we have all these private suites. There's 44 private suites within this, and we got these small single-person suites up to large teams that can fit 6 to 8 folks. And the starting rate is $700 a month, all inclusive. Includes all your utilities, internet, parking, which is in the garage. And then you have access to 5 meeting rooms. So you get a tremendous value for it. The furniture is included, so you really just bring your computer and monitors, move right in. So if you're watching this, you're like, hey, I want an office upgrade, definitely reach out to us. You can visit our website, generationpark.com. You can call me directly at the phone number on the screen, 713-860-3038, or email us at frontdesk@generationworx.com. So super excited about this. We've had a lot of interest. Again, great views. These suites over here on the south of the plan have tremendous views of the plaza and the apartments across the street. And this side looks over to the future development of Redemption Square South. And these back here look over the FMC campus behind us. So again, super excited about it. It starts at $700 a month. Essentially move-in ready. We'll be opening up in September. So get in touch with us if you're interested in some office space. Then next, I'm just going to tease Justin because I know he's talking up here in a minute. I want to show you guys some pictures of food, but Justin joined our hospitality team and opened up 2 new concepts with us, Bocca Italian Kitchen and Lupo Pizzeria. That's all I'm going to talk about. Look at the pictures, get hungry, and stop by today for lunch. But yeah, we're working on with him on a few other concepts in Redemption Square, which he may or may not talk about today. I'm not sure, but super excited to have him on the team. And then another thing we just opened up in Redemption Square is Eaton Salon Suites. So if you need a haircut, coloring, facial, waxing, makeup, body contouring, sunless tanning, whatever it is you need to make yourself feel good and look good, come to Eaton Salon Suites. It's literally across the street from GenerationWorx in the plaza and all Justin's restaurants. And if anyone out there is looking for a new place to operate their business, we have 1 suite left. We have 19 total, 18 have already been taken up and are operating out of. So if you want more information about that, head to EdenSalonSuites.com. And then just the last update, we've all been watching the hotel go up for the past few years. I guess there's one more update after this, but they will be opening up in June. That's the latest I heard a few weeks ago. And I'll give you a quick room preview so you can see what the rooms will look like. You can also check it out on your website for yourself if you'd like. This is kind of what the guest rooms will look like. Very modern, very nice, very comfortable. And this is one of the few hotels that actually have balconies that you can go out on. So the plaza facing rooms, many of them have balconies to go out and watch what's happening below. So we can't wait for that to open up. And the last thing, just some event updates. Currently going on in the square is story time. So if you have young kids, every Thursday morning at 11 a.m., we're doing some, some kids book readings. We read 3 or 4 books. It's from 11 to 11:30. It's a great chance to get out of the house and enjoy the outdoors. And then tonight, every Thursday, we have Zumba at 6:30 p.m. thanks to Lake Houston YMCA. They have an instructor that will come out and teach that class. And then this weekend and every third Saturday, we have Cars and Coffee. That's at 9 a.m. Out in the plaza. Then Sundays, we have yoga at 10 a.m. Just in time to finish up before a great brunch at Justin's Restaurants. And then every 4th Saturday, so next weekend, we have the market at Redemption Square, which is a terrific farmers market, live music, great shopping, and great spot to hang out when the weather's nice. If there's any questions, happy to answer them. Doesn't look like there are, but thanks for having me.
Ian, thanks so much. Great to see you, albeit via a video camera. We sure appreciate everything you guys are doing over there. I've been to the restaurant several times now and also taken our staff over there. We really enjoy what you guys are doing. We really, really appreciate it. Feel free to send a gift card. Anyway, all right. We wanted to offer our appreciation to each of our gold sponsors today. And through your generous support, we can educate and update our community on important topics during these BizComs. So thank you very much. We'll start with Chick-Fil-A, Wilson Road, and Beltway 8, a proud sponsor of the Partnership Lake Houston's Summer Creek BizCom. In case you did not know, you can now order delivery through the Chick-Fil-A app, and a smiling face from Chick-Fil-A team will bring your order to you and say, "My pleasure." It's going to be awesome. Also, don't forget, HEB celebrates Women's History Month because March is Women's History Month, and it's a time to reflect on the immeasurable impact of women by celebrating the trailblazers of the past, applauding changemakers of the present, and looking forward to the limitless potential of women in the future. So stop by your friendly, local Summerwood Market, HEB, to pick up your women-owned brand products today. All right. Next, we are really excited to hear from the founder of Bernie's Burger Bus, and get this, award-winning chef, Justin Turner, about his restaurant at Generation Park. Justin, thanks for being with us today. It's all yours.
How's it going, guys? Thank you so much for having me today. Really excited about the opportunity that was presented to me at Generation Park. We are doing fantastic things. To start off at Bocca Italian Kitchen, we're showcasing true Italian-American fare with fresh seafood, fresh pastas made by a local chef, friend of mine, who are supporting local restaurants. We're also supporting local farmers with all of our produce that we get through Chef's Produce. And so we try and take an approach like you would in Italy, seasonally changing but with a focus on fresh seafood and fresh pastas. And then on the other side, we have Lupo Pizzeria, which is our take on a New York style pizzeria, serving pizza by the slice, also by the whole pie, all chef driven ingredients. All of our sauces and toppings are all homemade. And it's the same approach. We seasonally change our pizzas kind of weekly, just to make sure that, you know, we're offering the freshest ingredients. And then we have great happy hours. So our happy hour is every day from 3 to 6 p.m. That's 20% off all of our draft local beers, all of our wine by the glass, and all of our specialty cocktails. And then on Friday and Saturday, we like to keep the party going from 9 to 11. We offer a second happy hour, offering those same great specials. And so we're doing it safely. We're doing it distance. We're keeping the same standards, but we're glad to see hospitality is starting to come back. And it's really exciting with all the new things that are happening in Generation Park and all the things that we're kind of teasing. Ian kind of teased that in the future projects that we're doing. It's going to be a really great place in Houston to dine and unwind and have some fun with your friends and family. So it's going to be great place to come and do. And we've got brunch Saturdays and Sundays as well. I forgot to say that. So come out, visit me for brunch from 11 to 3 on Saturdays and Sundays. Great brunch specials, always changing, mimosa flights. So great stuff.
All right, man, that's fantastic. Couple questions for you before you go. First, what would be some of your favorite dishes that you like the most?
Yeah, so right now we've got a beautiful crab risotto that's on special right now for the next week. That is phenomenal. It's an Italian dish, but it's very much inspired by things I've had on the west side of town, on the Chinatown side. And then our octopus. If you've never had octopus, this is definitely the way to have it. It's super tender, but it's also crispy, served with these baby fingerling potatoes and a duet of sauces. Absolutely fantastic.
You had me at hello. All right. So also some people wondering if y'all have any delivery options.
Absolutely. We partner with DoorDash as well as Uber Eats on delivery. We are also a partner of a company called Slice that offers different types of savings on pizza by the slice, the whole pizza as well. And then you can go to our website, BoccaHTX.com, and order directly from our website for delivery or takeout. And then LupoHTX.com for the same convenience of ordering takeout or delivery.
Thanks, Justin.
My pleasure.
Really appreciate it. I can give you several testimonies. Been to the restaurant a lot. A lot of people here in the studio have been to the restaurant as well. Food is fantastic and delicious, incredibly high quality. I think I love the environment. I love the place to eat, and it's a good place to take friends, people that are coming into town. I think one of my favorite things about living out here in the Lake Houston area is the fact that we don't have to go all the way downtown or to the Heights just to get a really, really high quality meal. And you guys are helping to suffice that with us. So we really appreciate it. Thanks for being here. We're going to move on, and we're going to welcome Jeremy Devine, Vice President of Marketing and Content for ShowBiz Cinemas. And Jeremy's going to be here to fill us in on the challenges theaters have had to endure during the pandemic and the future of theaters. So take it away.
Thank you so much for having me. We're delighted that we feel like we're really turning the corner on an incredibly tough year. I think everyone's familiar with some of the challenges that restaurants and theaters and gyms have had, and it's been rough, but we are turning the corner. And as I said, our location in Fall Creek, it's back up and running. Our location in Liberty Lakes, Kingwood, they're all functioning just great now. they're at 50% capacity. So what has happened with the pandemic is not only did we have the many safety challenges that we're all familiar with, but we also had, as theaters needed to close, particularly in other states that affected us, New York, California, and so on. What happened was the flow of product from Hollywood dried up. And I know everyone listening is familiar with this, and you began to hear that movies were being postponed. So that created quite the double whammy for ShowBiz Cinemas and our family entertainment centers. The first thing we were able to do in Texas is we were able to reopen, and we had to figure out how to do that safely. But that didn't mean that we had really terrific products. So let me just take you through that by way of review. And I think it also brings us up to what is a much rosier picture coming up. So we're all familiar with the safety protocols. These are large buildings. Fall Creek, of course, has a bowling alley. It has a game arcade, lots of food options, and 10 state-of-the-art theaters. So we're operating at 50% capacity in all locations in the building. And of course, we had our staff taking their temperature, wearing masks, encouraging our guests to wear masks, creating social distancing, removing touch points so that people were served their popcorn as opposed to self-serve by a gloved employee. So distancing, masks, and capacity limits. But I also think it's interesting to be behind the scenes and say, well, what else could you do besides cleaning, in between shows and everything else? So we were able to program our point of sale system so that when you bought tickets at showbizcinemas.com, if you bought tickets for 2 people or up to 5, let's say your family, then automatically the ticketing system knocked out the seats on each side of you. So it created that distance, and we weren't able to sell those seats. The other thing a little bit behind the scenes in terms of operations is if we had, let's say, Raya and The Last Dragon opening at a certain time, a 2 o'clock show, we would stagger that with when Tom and Jerry was opening and so on. And we would also stagger the times that those films are over. Now that's quite a puzzle, but what happened is we didn't want people all congregating at once. So there's been a lot of thought by our team and our general manager at Fall Creek, Joseph Tucker, and his wonderful team on how to keep people safe. And in fact, we were able to get the Cinema Safe designation, which means that we've worked with epidemiologists through the Theater Association and really have created a very, very safe environment. So now what are we waiting on? Now we're waiting on new product and film, and that is coming. But rather than wait, what we've also been doing, and I'll try to share the screen, is we've been showing, and I hope you can see this, we have been showing special events. This Saturday coming up live in theater is a rematch of UFC. This is the kind of thing where we have a lot of offerings. So we have bowling, we have the bar, we have the arcade, and now we have this type of alternative content. We've also come up with some really interesting programs like Popcorn to Go. We've also come up with a program that's been wildly popular, which is private auditoriums. So what that entails is starting at $99, you can rent your own auditorium with your own group, and you might be able to see a film like Pulp Fiction or something that like Chaos Walking. Also at $149 price point, you're able to see something like Raya and Tom and Jerry. So this has been innovations that we've used to get us to the point that we're coming to now, where movies are coming back. So as you may have heard, we have Godzilla versus Kong coming up. Tickets are on sale now. Peter Rabbit has moved up into May. Right now, we've got wonderful family titles with the aforementioned Raya and Tom and Jerry. We have a faith-based film, My Brother's Keeper, opening this Friday. We have City of Lies, which is a thriller. So you may not have heard of those titles, but those are good independent films. And what they're going to do as I finish up, because we have limited time, is they're going to give way by Memorial Day to Cruella, Quiet Place 2, Top Gun, Fast and Furious. So we see definitely the light at the end of the tunnel. And I have to say one thing. People say, well, how can movies survive with streaming and everything else? First of all, people that love streaming also love movies. And I think I want to speak for all of us when we know it's a magical experience to go see a comedy. or a horror film in a crowded theater on a 70-foot screen, and you may have a good system at home, but you don't have a 40 or 70-foot screen that's Dolby sound, and you certainly don't have the wonder of sitting in the dark and laughing and shrieking with a bunch of people. So if movies have survived TV, if they've survived VHS and DVD, we will survive streaming, we will survive the pandemic, and we think our bowling, our arcades, and our movies will continue stronger than ever. And thanks so much.
All right. Do we have any questions online, offline? Well, man, we really appreciate it. We've been, we're behind you 100% in this community. We'd love to watch you guys continue to succeed. We appreciate the community aspect of everything. And so it's just here in the studio, we were kind of brainstorming on how to use the facility for some outside of the box type things. So you guys have already done that. So that's really exciting. So thanks again for being a part of our community. We really appreciate it. We should also thank some other gold sponsor spotlights here. So JLA Realty Team Petrie, Amanda Petrie. So we're so privileged to have JLS Realty as a gold sponsor. So Amanda has a deep knowledge of this area and her experiences of having lived here all of her life. You know, her enthusiasm and desire to make her home your home. So choosing to work with Team Petrie is choosing to accomplish your real estate goals and achieve the best outcome in every situation. Aloha. All right. Redemption Square is hosting many community events and activities to keep everyone involved during this time. From the market happening the fourth Saturday of the month, and Thursday morning, story time for kids. Also to getting our bodies active with yoga and Zumba. You can see Terry, Vaughn, and I there every week. And for you automobile lovers, Cars and Coffee is happening this Saturday, March 20th from 9 to 1. So come on down, lots going on. Great community events for everyone, and everybody is staying socially distanced and have a good way to keep going on with life. MD Anderson Cancer Center, the University of Texas MD Anderson Cancer Center in Houston ranks as one of the world's most respected centers focused on cancer patient care, research, education, and prevention. The institution's sole mission is to end cancer for patients and their families around the world. MD Anderson is one of only 51 comprehensive cancer centers designated by the National Cancer Institute and is ranked #1 for cancer care in U.S. News and World Report's Best Hospital Survey. MD Anderson provides cancer care at several convenient locations throughout the greater Houston area. And last but not least, whether your school needs t-shirts or your business needs polo shirts and hats, K&S can help you. If you need promotional items such as koozies, pins, towels, yard signs, they've got you covered. So K&S Sportswear is conveniently located in 1960 in Atascocita. Help us shop local. Those folks would love to see you. They got a great showroom. Come on in, come on down. It's buy one, get one free. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just making all that up. But go see K&S Sportswear today. All right, rounding out. We're rounding third base here. And we'll get you guys on your way. We know you guys are busy. But I want to introduce, last but certainly not least, our partnership, Lake Houston, has proven it never backs down from a challenge. The traditional 10K, 5K typically done in September is now Walk, Run, Discover Lake Houston. And here to update us on how the run is going, here's Corey Turner. Take it away, Corey.
All right. Thanks for having me. As you can see, it was too nice outside for me to stay in the office. And so I switched it up a little bit. And I am actually on a walk myself. And so I'm Corey Turner. I'm very excited and honored to be the chair for the Discover Lake Houston. For those of you familiar with the Lake Houston 10K, 5K, we've still got the same excitement that we had before, but we've added a twist. This year's event is a month long, and we've made adjustments like many of you have throughout this COVID experience. So you can walk, you can run, you can do 30 miles in 30 days. And for the good folks out in Summerwood, you can come check out Westlake Park. I've got to tell you, I'm ashamed of myself. I've lived in the Lake Houston area pretty much all my life. and I've eaten at Generation Park many, many times and driven by, but this is my first time actually walking and experiencing Westlake Park. And this really represents what Walk, Run, Discover Lake Houston is about. We've designated routes in each of our communities. We've got routes in Kingwood, Atascocita. Get out, explore some of the hidden gems. Get your family. If you're anything like me, you've been eating a little bit too much. It's really cool to see Justin Turner on this particular BizCom, because I've been smashing those salmon plates over at Bocca, and mad props on that dish. So again, get out, discover the Lake Houston area, and to sign up today, I want to challenge everyone: get in a 5K, get in a 1 mile kids run by the end of spring break. So if you go to Walk, Run, Discover LakeHouston.com.
Okay.
In your race bib. And again, this would not be possible without our sponsors. So I want to thank Takis, our presenting sponsor, and I want to thank Primrose, who sponsors our 1 mile kids run, and Holy Trinity as well, is one of our sponsors. So thank you to all the local Summerwood businesses, including Generation Park. So get outside, enjoy the Lake Houston area, sign up today.
All right. Thank you, Corey. Weather permitting, this is a great thing about how this thing works. If you guys have not signed up for the event, you can do it right now, today. Go to lakehouston.org, click on all the links, and get you, your family, your team, your neighbors, whatever, to come out and do this. You get a fantastic, I wish I had the shirt with me, race shirt, you get a race bib, you get all kinds of freebies. And this is something you can do at your convenience. So let's say you work really late in the afternoon and can't do something until night, you can still be involved. Let's say you're an early riser and want to go do something early and walk it and run it in the morning, you can do it as well in the morning. So this is very tailored around your schedule, but it is a huge benefit to our community and to our chamber. So come on down, sign up, lakehouston.org, and get involved today. And if you sign up right now, Terry Vaughn will, no? Okay. Well, go ahead and sign up right now, and we'll get you involved in it, ready to go. Hey, you mentioned that Takis was a sponsor. They've been doing great stuff in our community. We've heard them talk also at our BizComs. And then also Primrose is a sponsor too for the kids race. And I don't know if anybody saw, but they had a nice big article in the Houston Chronicle in the community section this week on Wednesday. So check your local listings, grab a newspaper, and celebrate with them. They've done a great job. And thank you for being a sponsor. That's it. Thank you for being here. Let me go through our gold sponsors real quick and a couple announcements before we log off. Our gold sponsors: Chick-Fil-A Wilson Road, Beltway 8, HEB Summer Creek, JLA Realty Amanda Petrie, McCord Development, Generation Park, MD Anderson Center, and K&S Sportswear. Our silver sponsors: Shell Federal Credit Union. Do we have one more? And PostNet Summerwood. Good to see everybody. Final notes. Thank you so much for joining us today. Our Run, Walk, Discover Lake Houston event going on all month, March 1st through the 31st. Be there, be square, get involved. Also, next week, our State of the Lake Houston Area Luncheon is on March 23rd. Please join us for that. And our very next BizCom will be April 8th. That's it for our event today. We're so glad that you were with us. At this point, we'd like for everybody to stand up. We can sing Kumbaya. Anything else that you'd like to do, we will be here. Happy birthday to Ian Adler. Happy birthday to you. We are glad that you just turned 23. We're super excited about that. So everybody go down to Generation Park and have a drink, a dessert or something and celebrate the one and only Ian Adler. Okay, so that's it. They're telling me to cut it off, shut the mic, but it's my studio, so I can do whatever I want. No, just kidding. Have a great day. We'll see you guys at the Keywood BizCom or the luncheon or at the Run Walk. We'll see you.